Hello, my name is Hunter Fott, and this is my cultural artifact presentation and show and share. The culture I'm discussing, and that I'm personally a part of, is motorcycle riding culture. When we define culture, we often say it's made up of shared beliefs, customs, traditions, a sense of community, and even language. Motorcycle riding absolutely qualifies as culture because it has all of these elements. Riders don't just share a hobby, they share a lifestyle, a community, and an identity that crosses borders and connects people around the world. Intercultural communication is especially important in motorcycle riding culture because it exists globally and brings together riders from many different ethnic and national backgrounds. Whether in the United States, Europe, or Asia, motorcyclists recognize common signals, symbols, and values. Motorcycle culture is not a single group. It contains many different subcultures. There are Harley riders, 1% clubs, sport bike riders, adventure riders, long-distance touring groups, and casual, everyday commuters. Despite their differences, these groups interact and often connect over a shared passion for riding. Intercultural communication helps bridge those gaps so riders can understand one another, avoid conflict, and celebrate the diversity of the community. The roots of motorcycle culture go back to the first gas-powered motorcycle invented in 1885. By the early 20th century, motorcycles were growing popular as a new form of transportation. The motorcycle culture in the United States was deeply shaped by World War II veterans who returned home and found community in forming motorcycle clubs. These clubs created a strong sense of brotherhood and loyalty, but they also gave rise to the outlaw biker image that became well known in movies, television, and the news. Over time, the culture branched out into many different forms, from highly organized riding associations to casual weekend riders and even competitive racing scenes. Today, motorcycle culture has spread worldwide with millions of riders who share the love of two wheels. Now I'd like to talk about my two cultural artifacts, my motorcycle helmet and my vest. Here's my helmet. It's a full face helmet. Stuff. But many riders choose full face helmets because they combine safety with a sleek design. They're the most protective helmets you can get, and they're not as bulky as modular helmets and other helmets. For me, my helmet is not just gear. It represents a value I place on protection, responsibility, and a comfort while riding. My second cultural artifact is my vest. It's got a big patch on the back. I'm not going to show it because it's graphic. You can probably see it in class. It's a pretty normal vest other than that. Vests and leather jackets are a big part of motorcycle culture, especially in Harley Club and traditions. They often serve as canvases for patches, which communicate identity, loyalty, and personal beliefs. Some patches can be dangerous if you're not careful. For example, three-piece patches or patches that look too similar to outlaw motorcycle clubs can get you checked by riders who take them seriously. Not all patches are like that. Many riders, including me, use patches as a personal expression. On my vest, I have a patch that depicts part of The Last Judgment, a famous painting by Jan van Eyck. This imagery is deeply meaningful to me because it represents my religious beliefs and serves as a reminder of how I want to live my life. My vest then is both a protective layer and a way to communicate my values to others within the motorcycle community. These artifacts matter because they represent more than just clothing or equipment. My helmet represents safety and responsibility, values that are important in a culture that is often seen as dangerous. My vest represents identity and personal expression, showing how riders use symbols and style to share who they are. Together, these artifacts represent both practical and expressive sides of motorcycle riding culture. Many cultures have their own languages, and motorcycle culture is no exception. One of the most unique and practical languages among riders is the system of hand signals. A few examples are pointing left with your hand will indicate to riders behind you that there's something in the road, or it's blocked, or that they should move to the right side of the lane. Extending your leg to the right will signal the same thing, except that it's on the right. The reason you don't do it with your hand is because taking your hand off the throttle will slow your bike down a lot, and if you're riding in a group that's unsafe, motorcycles just don't have as much kinetic energy as cars, so they don't roll as much, they don't roll as well. A quick helmet tap warns riders that police are nearby, either ahead or behind. Two fingers down signal, often given as riders pass one another, is a gesture of respect that means ride safe or two wheels down. There are also signals for your blinkers on or to encourage riders to speed up or slow down. These signals form a nonverbal language that keeps riders safe and connected. Beyond hand signals, motorcycles themselves communicate. The type of bike you ride, the way you customize it, and the patches on your vest all speak about who you are within the culture. Through my helmet and vest, I hope to communicate that motorcycle culture is not only about rebellion or danger, but about freedom, respect, safety, and community. My helmet shows that I value safety and responsibility, while my vest shows my personal beliefs and individuality. Together, they show that motorcycle culture can be a positive and meaningful part of somebody's life. Unfortunately, motorcycle riders face many stereotypes. Some of these come from the media, and some come from real incidents with small groups of riders. For example, Harley riders are often stereotyped as violent, aggressive, or even as criminals who run drugs for their motorcycle club. While there are outlaw clubs that have done this, the majority of Harley riders are just people who enjoy the freedom of riding and the community it brings. Personally, I ride a Harley and I have never assaulted anyone for passing me on the road, a stereotype that is often exaggerated. Sport bike riders also face stereotypes. They are often portrayed as reckless thrill seekers who run from police for fun or weave through traffic dangerously. While some individuals do ride recklessly, most sport bike riders are responsible and passionate about motorcycles, just like Harley riders. These stereotypes paint an unfair picture of the motorcycle community as a whole. In reality, motorcycle culture is diverse and most riders value respect, safety, and camaraderie. In conclusion, motorcycle riding is more than a hobby. It is a culture. It has a history that stretches back over a century, a global presence that connects people across borders, artifacts that symbolize values and identity, and a unique language of signals and symbols, and unfortunately, some stereotypes that don't always reflect the truth. For me personally, motorcycle culture is about community, freedom, and self-expression. My helmet and vest may seem like simple items, but they carry a deep meaning in the culture and in my life. By sharing this culture, I hope I've shown that motorcycle riders are not just rebels or criminals, but members of a diverse community who find meaning, connection, and expression on two wheels. Thank you.